There we go. All right. Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Tuesday. I've been telling everyone it's the 4th. I signed my check this morning as the 4th, so I sure hope it's the 4th of April. If not, it is what it is, right? So hey, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to go into social media and how we use some of the tools that we have as third-party validation. But that's going to be our focus today, third-party validation. If you hear an echo, I apologize. I've got my phone pulled up. Steven showed me, I don't know, about a month ago how to share my screen on my phone. And so I've got 2 accounts running right now. So we're going to kind of walk through some things. But hey, we're going to talk about things that are duplicatable, right? Things that are simple, things that are duplicatable, things that leave you feeling like, you know what? I can do this. That's the purpose of this, right? That's what we want. And we want to be duplicatable. We want things to be easy. And we don't want you to feel like you have to know it all, that you have to be the guru, or that you even have to know most of it, right? There is some power in sharing a testimony and getting excited, sharing your passion, and then using a tool, a resource, a 3-way call, a friend, a 3-way message chat to validate what you're saying. And I've seen this work in my own life over and over again, and it's almost always with my mom. Mom, I think you're in this group, so if you watch this video, I love you, right? So it never fails. My mom's always going to try it, right? But she tries it because she loves me. She joins because she loves us, and she's just like, I always want to support you. And then it never fails. All the stuff that I've been telling her about it, she'll call me up and I will have shared a video with her, or I will tag her in one of Dr. Thornton's posts, or we'll have a really good testimony. I'll tag her or share it, a YouTube link, and she'll go, did you hear? And then she'll go on to say exactly what I've been telling her. But it took Dr. Thornton, it took a Steven video, it took a testimony from Brenda or whoever I tagged her in to go, click, stamp of approval, like validation. And then she's calling me and telling me, hey, did you know that these curcumin drops cross the blood-brain barrier? And that's why I really truly believe that's why my headaches have stopped, and that I don't have brain fog. And Dr. Thornton was just going down the list. And I take a big deep breath and I'm like, Mom, that is so cool, right? Isn't it awesome? And all the time I'm thinking, been saying this the whole time, but it was the validation that brought her to, you know what? And it might be the fact that she knows me so well and she needed something else, right? I'm always Ryan. I'm always her son. I'm always, right? And she needed someone else to validate what I was saying. So I know third-party validation is a tool, a resource that builds a business. And I'll give one more example, and then I'll kind of give Steven or Patrick a chance to just kind of share, or Brenda, whoever. But I remember my very first business in network marketing, very first one. We got in and we were going, and we had some connections because of coaching and what we did and everything. And so we started to build, but we saw a quick run, and then everything kind of plateaued, and then it gradually just stayed, right? It wasn't doing what we wanted it to do. And I remember at the time was a growing relationship with our upline, not the one that we enrolled with, but the next one up. And she said, she got me on a call with another guy, the guy who launched the company, or was the seed to the company, got me on a call, and both of them had done a really big job. And they're like, hey, Ryan, things are going good, but I've noticed in the last month, 2 months, things have plateaued. And they're like, we never hear from you. We haven't. I'm like, Natalie, I don't want to bother you. I have no desire to bother you and Mike. I don't want to do that. I can do this. You know, I just keep telling people and we just keep sharing, right? And she's like, Ryan, how come you don't want to bother us? Like, this is what we do. And I'm like, well, but you guys are busy or whatever. It's like, no. Did you do our training on third-party validation? I said, yeah. I said, I share some stuff, but I just really try to, I just share it, right? And She's like, yeah, I talked to a couple people that you're close to in your downline that you've worked with, and they gave me the same answer. I don't want to bother you, and I already know a lot of it. They are duplicating exactly what you're doing. And I was like, what's wrong with that? And she was like, you can only get to so many so fast. And what you're doing is really hard to duplicate. It's not going to work. And I'm like, well, then what do you want me to do? Ryan, when you put out a post or when you talk to someone belly to belly, or when you're just out and going and someone has a question, I want you to either share a resource, right? A video of something that validates what you're saying. I want you to message me and go, hey, I'm going to put you in a three-way chat, and put them in a three-way chat. Or I want you to get on the phone and I want you to call me. And I want you to hand the phone over to them, introduce me, introduce them, and hand the phone over to them, or on a three-way call where they're right there. She's like, I want you to do it as many times as you possibly can. You can never bother me. Mike said the same. You're never going to bother me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to prove to them that I'll bother them. And I'm going to prove to them that this is a bunch of crap. I was kind of frustrated. And I went on to do as many three-way calls. I called them because I wanted to make sure I took their time up, right? I called. And I just started going, talking. I'm getting people on the phone. And I'm like, hey, here, talk to Natalie. I start handing things over. And I started putting them in message threads. I did more calls than message threads, but I did message threads. And what I saw in my business, things started to change. And my new people that enrolled started doing the same thing with me. Next thing I know, I'm on like a ton of three-way calls and message threads. And I'm just like, what is going on? And then I look at our volume, and it's tripled from what it was that took us 3.5 months to build. All of a sudden it's tripled, and we earned our first trip ever for network marketing, take Kylie to Maui and all this stuff. It just exploded. And I got a hold of Natalie and said, hey, thank you. I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, you don't owe me an apology and you don't owe me a thank you, but this business is powerful when you use the community and you use the tools to build a business. It's a lot more duplicatable. You see what your people are doing? Yeah. Before they thought they had to be the whole message and know everything. Now they just got to know, they just got to connect people to the right tool. And so I watched everything change, and I watched the power of the community and the power of third-party validation change everything in what we did. Stephen, I can see you getting excited. You wanna add to this?
Happy to add to this, because it's like hold on a second here. Whoa, I want to also pin you here. There we go. Yeah, 100, so true. And I learned this over and over and over and over until I finally got it. And so a few ways to say what you're saying, Ryan. Here's one I learned from a guy who built did $1 billion in sales in a network marketing company he founded in under 5 years, which no one's ever done before. He said, if your lips are moving, your fingers should be pointing. If your lips are moving, your fingers should be pointing, like actual finger pointing, or referencing like a tool, upline, something like that. And again, it goes to what I was training on in Europe for like 2 weeks straight, which is the four questions your prospects are asking themselves as you are sharing the Vidify information to them, that if they can answer all 4 of these as yes, then they're much more likely to just join you in the business and not just be a customer, which are, can I do what you're doing? Do I have the time? Would I get help? And by the way, that would I get help is something you have to show them. You can't tell them. Like, you have to demonstrate. Oh, you have a question? Here, let me get Ryan on a chat. And then the last one is, would I do what you're doing to my friends and family? Would I do what you're doing to me, to my friends and family? And I'm thinking of so many famous stories in network marketing of people using third-party validation. One of my favorite ones that I told in Amsterdam, which is kind of a funny story. There was a guy named Ray Gebauer, At the time he started his network marketing business, he was $50,000 in credit card debt, living in his friend's basement, unable to pay rent, had his car repossessed, and had gotten divorced, and had done like 40 companies, failed at all of them. And he was not very dynamic fellow. Okay. In fact, later when he was making $100,000 a month, I thought to myself, Ray, you're making good money. Can you please hire a speech therapist? I'm like, I don't like listening to you talk. Like, it's painful. But the guy who recruited him was a guy named Jet, and Jet was this dynamic black dude from South LA who had escaped the ghetto and was very passionate. And Jet had recruited 22 people that month, cold calling people his first month because he just wanted to see if it worked before he started telling his friends. And he told everyone he recruited, he goes, I will do as many 3 calls as you want. Of those 22, only 3 did very many, and only only 3 did any, and only Ray did very many, and Ray did 137 3-way calls in the first month. And he went on to make millions of dollars, not based on his skill set or sparkling personality, but based on the zeal with which he used the tools in the system of network marketing. And there you go. So one of the other, it's important to realize how much different our business is than a normal business. People don't get that. And Jeff Olson used to have a network marketing company that was actually a TV station channel. The People's Network is all personal development. And I heard him say once, he goes, we had all of the top sales gurus, traditional sales people on our network doing training, presenting their personal development stuff. He goes, all of those people have done network marketing. All of them had huge lists of contacts and everything. And if any one of them ever had a significant success in network marketing, I don't know about it. Interesting. Because people don't look at what those people do and go, I could do what that guy did. Doesn't matter how many contacts you have or how good a salesperson you are. You don't understand the question your prospects asking when they're thinking about doing network marketing as business, not just buying your product. And that's one of the powers of third-party validation. And by the way, especially with health stuff, I will tell you, I know a lot of world famous practitioners. 100% of them have had close family members who'd never listened to any of their advice ever. It's just the way it is, right? You got to use validation. So, anyways.
No, that is good. Patrick, hop on.
Yeah, so there's a saying that an expert is a guy from out of town with a briefcase in his hand. Meaning basically that often the people that are closest to you, they don't have the same kind of they don't see you as an authority. They may have personal trust, but they don't see you as an authority. That's also saying that you're not a prophet in your own town. So you just gotta have validation. By the way, there's a really, really interesting study about social proof and what constitutes social proof, how many people needs to confirm something before people start to believe in it. And there was a study about having people standing on the street looking up in the window, I think like on Times Square or something, like some busy place, one person standing and looking up in the sky, nothing happened. 2 people, nothing. 3 people, nothing. 4, nothing. 5. Then suddenly when 5 people stand in the crowd looking up in the sky, boom, then suddenly everybody starts to look. There's something about that. So the more confirmation you have from third party, the better. And our closest friends, they might trust us personally, but they just don't believe us as an expert on this field.
Right. And then it goes back to being duplicatable, right? What do we want people to duplicate? What do you want your team to duplicate? Do you want them to duplicate things that move people fast, that create success, that transition well deep down the line? Or do you want things that take time and things that are a gradual process? Is network marketing over time? Is it a marathon? Yeah, but we fill the marathon with lots of sprints, lots of little sprints, right? And making sure that we can duplicate Whatever it is we're doing in those sprints needs to be duplicatable within our team. And so if you are doing things that are easy, simple, time comes down into a very small amount of time, right? That they're putting into this, then it allows it to transition to the next, right? Brenda, you got your hand up?
I do. So for me, what has worked and is very duplicatable are the three-way chats, and we've talked about this. What I do, and it's worked for me and it's worked for my team, is when someone asks more than 2 questions, we just say, hold on a second, that's a great question. And then we immediately put them in a three-way chat. We don't ask their permission. And we've obviously had success with it. And what we do is then we put them in with like Steven or you, and we just say, hey, Ryan, this is my friend Patty. I've known her for 20 years. She has some questions that I know you're better equipped to answer. Patty, this is Ryan. He's a huge part of our support team. Feel free to ask him those questions that you asked me. He'll be happy to help. And then I back out of it and I don't say another word and I let you guys converse. Because what happens with that, it takes your emotion out of it for your friend, and it takes your friend's emotion out of it for you. So we kind of distance ourselves from the outcome. And 99% of the time, when you've engaged with them, they then turn around and say, where do I sign up? And then you come back and go, hey, Brenda, send her your link. She's ready to get started with the 500 kit or whatever.
Right.
That has worked over and over and over and over again. I think I had one person come back and say, I didn't know that person. I felt funny. And that was it. Everybody else was either signing up or saying, just not right now.
Right. And you said you set it up well. So guys, it was very important the way she set it up, because I've had people set up a three-way call or a three-way chat, and all they did was edify the person they were bringing to it. They said, hey, Ryan, this is so-and-so that been in lifting for this long, or they've been in health, whatever. And all they did was edify them. And then that person took over the chat and told you everything they knew, all they had, and they had no clue who you were, right? And so Brenda sets them up really well to edify both, but sets up the person that they're putting in that chat as their validation, also as an authority. Not that I need that. I have no desire, but for the success of the call, the success of the chat, when you do that and you edify the person that you're bringing them to, it sets them up for, okay, I'll listen. Right. And so I think that's huge, Brenda. And if you didn't catch that, guys, that is big. It really does. Because if I did the same, if I put someone on with Patrick and all I did was edify Jamin, he's going to tell Patrick all he knows. And Patrick's just going to be like, and anytime he does talk, it's going to be like, I don't even know who you are. I don't know what you do. So why would I trust you? Right. So that edification is huge. All right. And the echo bothers me. Okay, so let's talk about tools, different tools that we have, right? And then we'll work our way into three ways. So one of the biggest resources that we have is Disruptive Wellness. It is a third-party validation tool. Great. You make a comment, you talking to someone, or you see someone make a post and you're like, hey, I'm going to interact with them. I'm going to communicate with them, right? We're going to connect. Or you make a post that just has people asking questions. Hey, let me get you into a group. We've got a group that's got tons of testimonials. It's going to answer these questions way better than I can. Can I send you an invite to that group and get you going? Right? You invite them to the group. You send them the link after you've invited. Hey, here's that link to the group just in case you lost it. And we get them in there. And then once they're in there, you tag them. Tons of third-party validation. I watch Brenda. I watch Patty. I watch Pat. I've watched all kinds of. Leslie, I see you do it all the time. Ro, I see you in there tagging people. And I guarantee you, they're not just tagging them in just whatever random post they can. Hey, what is that BioMS stuff? That's a great question. Let me tag you in a post. Or they share the YouTube link, right? Because we also have our World Changers YouTube. They share that link to the technology of the product. What is BioMS technology? What is our product? Validate with that tool. You tag them in it. You send them that YouTube link. They watch it, right? Hey, watch this. It's going to answer all your questions better than I can. Let me know what you think. I put it on them. I watch it. Hey, this is going to do better. I've taken it kind of away from me. Hey, just check it out. And then I've also said, hey, let me know when you finish, right? Tell me what you think, right? Or I'll say, hey, I'll get back with you in just a few minutes after you watch it, or I'll get back with you tonight and I'll check on you. I want to know what you think, right? And so I've set them up for when I do contact them again, it doesn't feel weird. I've already told them what I was going to do. I'm going to contact you again. I'm going to reach back out. So now they're not like, oh, Ryan's really trying to sell me something. No, he told me he was going to contact me and see what was going on. Leslie, do you have a question?
I just wanted to say, whenever we did the Kit 100 thing a few weeks ago, I had like 5 people convert over to become entrepreneurs with us. And I was also in a vendor event at the same time. So every one of those people happened to be in the vendor event too. So I thanked them for their order. And then I ended up getting like 4 brand new customers out of that vendor event because they're like, this one lady was like, what am I missing out on? I think I need to sign up and get this. So anyway, I was just wanting to say that when people see action and things going on, they feel like they're missing out and jump in.
That's a good word. I like it. I agree with you. Stephen, I saw your mouth. There you go.
So one of the things to understand is the testimonial group is not just third-party validation, but also, there's the saying, the gold is in the follow-up. Okay. And for me, I find that the testimonial groups are best, it's a tool to follow up because people just need to see one thing after the other, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I won in Amsterdam shared a statistic that the conversion rate at the 8th follow-up goes ping through the roof. And so most people don't have the time to do 8 follow-ups, but if you get them in a testimonial group, people just read story after story after story after story till they're like, okay, shut up and take my credit card. Like, I gotta have it. So that's, for me, that's a really important part because I typically am not busy. I'm too busy to do good follow-up. But I rely heavily on the testimonial group. And by the way, I'll often find people asking for information from me, and I'll go in Messenger and I'll see, oh, I've sent you this 3 times before. It's like 3rd, 4th time, and they still haven't like engaged. Like, oh, what is this? So really, anything you can do to take the time and, like you said, make sure they're actually in the group and engaged and tagged, so you can start that ball rolling. Just sending someone a link for the testimonial group, it's shocking how little time they actually do the link, get in, and check it out. You would think they'd be like, oh, I sent you a test link, you're going to go check it out. As much as you think. Not much less than you think. So that's super important to understand.
Right. No, that's good. So testimonial group is a tool that we have. World Changers 24/7, World Changers 24/7 has tons of testimonials in it. It has info about the business, right? That's all on YouTube. World Changers 24/7. That's another tool that you can use because we still have all the time people go, I don't have a Facebook account, or I deleted my Facebook account, or I don't, all I have is this. Well, how do we share a tool with them if we don't have disruptive wellness? Well, we have all those recordings on World Changers 24/7. We also have V-Defy-Results.com. All right, V-Defy-Results.com. And there's a lot of resources there inside that. It's where you can just share little links.
So that is V-Defy-Results.com is a playlist of testimonials on that YouTube channel. So it's a great way to get people testimonials and get them to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. So I think Ro has got a question or comment.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Ro.
I wanted to expand just quickly on what Steve said. Brendan and Steve have been my mentors from day one, and I appreciate you guys. Just want to give a great shout out to you guys. The one thing I do, and Steve has planted it in my head, is just live in the testimonial group. And I do. I mean, every single second of the day when I'm not doing sessions with my people, I'm in that testimonial group, reading, commenting, giving that energy. we sometimes get so bogged down on, we have to do this, we have to do that. We really get out of that space and, you know, do things from the heart and put energy into groups. Like we have that group, we have the testimonial group, you know, comment, hey, that was a great testimonial. Thank you so much for sharing. I had a brother going through the same thing. Energy back and forth, back and forth. And as you know, you guys, I've contacted you people all over the world, Betty, all over the world, connecting. You know, it's not just taking notes and doing this and doing that. Connect from the heart, connect from, you know, soul to soul. And that's going to attract business for you. And that's going to attract people that really need this, you know, this healing, these healing drops. It's the vibration you carry. There's a book called, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. It's how to hold that vibration so that once you hold that vibration of, I want to help you, I want to help you build a business, I want to help you heal, it's going to attract more and more people if you hold that vibration. So again, you know, I would stay in that testimonial group. Also, once you keep on reading each testimonial one after another, you're going to find exactly what your friends need. So if you find out what they need, hey, what's going on? What's going on in your life? You know, hey, well, I've had Lyme disease for a while. Oh my gosh, it's funny you say that because, you know, I'm going to send you something. And I just, you know, invite them to the group, send them the link, and then I send them exactly the testimonies that have helped them with that could help them with Lyme disease. So that's I just wanted to add that.
That's good. Patty, yes, you can. The kicker to that is just tell them to make sure they put your name down on who invited you. Okay. We have a lot of people that come in from, I see a lot from Stephen's YouTube page. I see some from Dr. J's YouTube page. I see a lot from Julie Miller's Instagram. She's not friends with them on Facebook, but they all put their names down. That's the only thing that will get someone not accepted. If they're not invited by somebody and I don't have a name to tag them to, we don't accept them because we don't know who to send them to when they're ready to buy. So some, hey, Patty, and you can't say Patty with pink hair anymore, right? So, but if they say that, I will know which Patty it is, right? And then Ro, what you were saying, there's another key to what you did, why it becomes so powerful. All those people that you invited to the group, they see you as an active member and it adds validation to what you're doing. You've talked about it. You're in the group, you're active, and they're like, oh crap, there's Ro again. There's Ro again. What is she talking about? Right. And so you're a part of the party. You are there, you're dancing, you're cheering, you're doing all of it. And it makes people want to stay. It's not like Ro invited them. Well, I've never seen even Ro post. I don't know what why did she invite me to this? And then they're gone, right? You are part of it. You're the host of the party, right? And so people are staying because they see you active. So that's good for everybody, being active. And I'm not saying spend 6 hours a day inside Disruptive Wellness, but spend 5 minutes real quick. It's good. That's a good testimony. I'm going to like that and I'm going to comment on it, right? Oh man, that was a great testimony. I'm going to save that one. I could use that for so-and-so, right? And so doing that allows you to have a little bit better tool belt, right? It's not that you knew everything, but you knew where a resource was to get them there. Okay.
Here's one super important thing. You can't grow a big network marketing business without raw enthusiasm. Right. And I think Ro gets the enthusiasm award. So it's, you know, one thing, maybe the best advice I ever got in network marketing was a guy who's making $100,000 a month. And he said, Steve, he goes, do whatever it takes to stay bulletproof. Do whatever it takes to stay bulletproof. And so part of being bulletproof is calling your upline before you give up. Part of it is you know, I spend time in the testimonial group just because it raises my enthusiasm level. Right? I'm like, ooh, you know, you get more excited, you take more action, and that's, you know, key. So
it's good. It's good. All right. So testimonial group is a tool. World Changers 24/7, and then those little links that Steven's created to just get you there real easy. So those I think he posted it in the link, right? I think it's in the chat.
Results.com.
Yeah, v5results.com. If you don't have that, that'll take you straight to the testimonials. And that's something you can just share the link. Hey, check this out. You know, and if you can give them a specific one to look for, that's even better, because it doesn't feel as overwhelming. They're like, oh, there's a bunch of testimonies. No, hey, look for the one titled this. Right. And
By the way, Ryan, we should go into all those testimonials and into the YouTube page itself and link the testimonial group on Facebook there.
okay, we can do that.
Maybe
Okay.
just a note. If you ask to join, say you came, say who told you to talk to you about it. So,
Hold on, guys. YouTube.
otherwise, people go there and they'll forget who even knew about it.
Right. Right. Okay. So those are 2 resources. Other resources, the community, this group of people, your upline, right? That's where we get into the 3-way chats and the 3-way calls. I don't mind giving this out. So here's this if you need me. There's my phone number for anyone that needs it. All right, 417-379-9397. All right, shoot me a text, ask, hey, you got time for a 3-way? And I'm always really honest. Yep, I can do it. Nope. Check with so-and-so, right? Or, you know, whatever.
Here-
Just depends.
Here's a simple technique. If you're really growing your business and you're using 3-way phone calls to build your business, one thing I used to do is I would make a group chat, text chat on my phone of people who I can potentially do 3-way calls with, right? So if I'm on the phone talking to prospects while I'm doing that, I can text that group 3 question mark, right? And typically someone in that group will go, yes, I'm available. Oh, I go to the prospect, hey man, by the way, my business partner Kylie is available. She has an amazing story I want you to hear. Hold on a second. Click.
Right.
Right. So I'm not asking them, do you want to do a 3-way call? But I'm kind of informing them that they're just going to listen to a cool story. So they can relax. There's no pressure on you. I just want you to meet her. She's got an amazing story. Really, you got to hear it, man. It's crazy. Right. So that's one way to do it. You know, now that Facebook Messenger is more popular, you could do something like that on Messenger. You could have one group of my support team message in there, hey, who can do a quick Facebook Messenger chat? Because one of the amazing things you can do with Messenger is do a quick instant video, chat. And that will be incredible. Like, oh, hold on a second here. I'm gonna add Ryan to our let's chat on Messenger. I want you to hear his amazing story about whatever. Click. And so, but the speed is key. Some of you will try and set up, we'll schedule a 3-way call. Oh my God, is that a pain in the butt? Oh, I can't do it. No, I can't do this. I can't do that. No, how about here? Is that like I can do what you're doing. I have the time. I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that, right? You can't do something is super complicated. And if you do the business, you have to spend half your life scheduling calls with people who are busy. Yay. It's like,
Right. And it
oh,
never
no one
fails.
wants
The
to do that.
prospect eventually backs out, right? I have had people schedule, hey, can we do a Zoom, or can we do a call, or can whatever tomorrow morning at 9:00? Yep. Okay. And we're there and something come up. You've given your prospect a chance to have an excuse not to hop on. But when you're right there in the
Yeah.
moment, if you can make it work, a lot more powerful.
By the way, use Crossline as well as a resource. Really massively helpful, right? Someone's not even your business, but you like them, you hang out with them, you chat. Your buddies, business buddies, cool. Help each other out that way too. If someone else isn't available, it's like you just need somebody else. Person with a briefcase from out of town, or just somebody who they don't know instantly becomes the Patrick. Patrick's got something to add to this.
Yeah, I just want to say how massively powerful 3-way calls are. I mean, after 14 years of failure in network marketing in 15 different companies, I finally smartened up. I made a few changes First of all, I became committed. And part of that was I became committed to work with people who were smarter than me. And so literally, on the first day that I visited the UK to sign up in Manatech, I started making calls with my upline. You know, I knew nothing about Manatech at that point, and we started just hammering the phones. And that resulted in, you know, after 14 years of failure, that I was literally financially free in 9 months. The first month, I can't remember, but you know, in a few weeks, we were like 50, 60, 70 people in the team. It was pretty incredible. So I just highly encourage you, really do it. I mean, that's just nothing. There's no tool that's more powerful, more important than three-way calls. I think there was another story I wanted to tell, but that escaped my mind. It'll come back in a second.
No, they're powerful. No one knows, very few of you know Dave Bykowski, but he came in right when we started this. And in the first, I think it was 10 days. I think it was just over a week. We ran him to master in 10 days. I did 109 three-way calls in that 10 days. I think it's 109 or 103. You remember? 10, it was over 100, and it was an odd number. Why I remember odd numbers, I'm not sure. But it was 103 or 109, and it was one after another, after another, after another, and all the way to master. Just boom, just like that. And it was intense. And that was without the Kit 1000, Kit 500, Kit 500, Kit 500. And it was just over and over again. I remember one day I sat outside, I said, Kylie, bring my lunch out here. I'm just going to sit in the lawn chair. And it was just one after another, but he got it. He figured it out. And I guarantee you, if he was still alive today, we would still be pounding out three-way calls. It would be over and over and over again. He's just an old school networker. And he's like, this is what I believe. This is how we're going to do it. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
I think one of the reasons why they're so powerful is because what I found is the information, like what we want to try to accomplish with somebody in the team is a shift in beliefs. Because if there's no shift in belief, there is going to be no shift in action. And just telling them information is very, very rarely going to shift their beliefs. So like you tell them what the script is, here's what to say, blah, blah, blah. But if they see you make a call and it's successful, and they're like, wow, that was actually simple. You know, my upline didn't say that much. And my friend was really positive. I thought this was going to be much harder. See, that creates a shift in belief.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to lead to action. But you're just never, ever, ever going to create that shift in belief anywhere close in speed by just giving them information over and over and over again.
Yep. Love it. Okay. So last thing that I'm going to show you, because there's some of you you're like, I don't know I don't know how to do a three-way messenger. So I'm going to share my screen here on my, my phone. I don't like using my computer for this. I do it on my phone because your phone's with you, right? You never know when you're going to want to put someone in that call or that chat. Okay. So let's share screen. I think I did it right, Stephen. Looky there. All right. I did it right. You guys can see it, right? Championship. It's a good day. And by the way, Steven's a little bit of a jokester. So this idea of having that group that he can try to get a three-way chat in, right? He will send you a message as the Chiefs are driving to win the Super Bowl. Urgent three-way. We've got to get on the phone right now. I've got someone big. And I'm like, I didn't see it for a little bit, and I was like, this is not a good time. But I will. I'm sorry. I missed it. And he's like, dude, I'm just kidding with you. So, all right. So really quick, here we go. Messenger. If you're wanting to do a three-way. Oh, also another thing. Anyone that likes to do lives or anything like that, if you go into Messenger, you can see 701. You see that 701 there. That's the active people. So if you ever do lives or want to make a good post, you want to see who's active, just by clicking on the people sign, it'll tell you all the people that are currently active that you're connected to, right? So just that's extra. I'm not going to charge you guys for that. All right, let's go back to chats. Okay, so you'll see the pen and paper up there, the square with the pen in it. You'll click on it. All right, we're going to create a new group. Okay. And so let's say it's Stephen, right? Stephen, I put in Stephen. And then I'm like, okay, whoever that prospect is, I'm just going to say Brenda, because I don't think I have a chat with Brenda and Stephen at the same time. All right, we create it. Look, there's your chat. And then you can just go in. I like voice messages, so I would hit my voice recording. It won't let me right now. And I would just send a voice message, right? I would introduce just like Brenda showed us. We'd go through, we hit send. And we've edified them. I edified Stephen. I edified Brenda. And I said, hey, Stephen, hop in. And then Stephen's got it and he can go to town. Guess what that also does? While Stephen's working, and I can learn from Stephen. If you're brand new, I'm going to learn. Okay. The other thing that you can do, I hate that thing. All right. Is now what that I've dropped that person off to talk to Stephen. Guess what? We can do another one. All right. Here's Stephen. All right. I know Stephen's busy. I've already got him connected. Oh, I didn't do create group. You got to create the group. You create the group, right? Stephen, I'm going to just work his tail over. All right. And then I've got Patty. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry I'm creating groups with you. You can delete these just as soon as we're done, right? I create a group. Stephen's working with Brenda right now. But now I'm going, and I've also had Patty ask questions like, hey, let me introduce you to my friend Stephen. All right. He knows way more than I do. He's been doing this longer. He's got all the answers. And I tell a little bit of a story. Boom. I connect Stephen and Patty together. All right. Maybe it's big. You can do this and let people go to work, and I can go work on other people while they're working on them. Do you see how powerful that is? All right. How it's just stop the screen share.
By the way, on that, you can make a group name, which sometimes is helpful if you have a lot of these group chats you're making. And I find that it's one of the things to keep in mind is that phone calls often go on a little longer than you want them to, right?
Yes.
The voice messages, again, we're trying to present to people, can you do what I'm doing? Do you have the time? And so when you can be very succinct in sharing the information, sharing links right to the chat, different things like that, it takes a lot less time. And like you said, you can multitask and do a bunch of these all at once, which is a beautiful thing. So,
Right.
but keep in mind, you do something like this with text also. Like someone's like, oh, I'm not on Facebook. Cool. I'm going to put you in a message thread with, Ryan, and you can share voice memos to a text, right? Because it's important people hear the music in your voice when you're communicating.
Right. And it's also one of those things where your tribe, your people that you're connecting them to. And if you need someone that needs energy, they usually get connected to me, right? If it's a lady and she's having issues, people usually connect them, to Kylie, right? It's knowing how to use your tools and resources is very important, right? If I've got someone in Europe and they know this is still going to be a struggle, I'm going to connect them to Patrick, right? It allows people. I'm not going to connect someone if someone's wanting to know about the business, all about the business. Love you, babe, but I'm not going to connect them to Kylie. That's not what I'm going to do. They've got a ton of business questions. Kylie's not the connection. She's smiling at me. She knows it's true. So that's one of those things. But if someone comes in and they want to hear a really amazing testimony on what's going on and hear it from the heart, then I go to Kylie. Does that make sense? So we know who we're connecting people to. All right.
Now, remember the point, by the way, like Stephen was mentioning that it can be really powerful to just use cross lines. And that's something we did to really amazing extent in Manatech. I would really connect with a lot of different uplines, cross lines, just write down their stories and the headlights of their stories, or the headlines of their stories, so that I knew, like, hey, if I meet a prospect with arthritis, then I have this person. If I meet somebody with MS, I have this person. And what we also do is, by the way, is like sometimes when we're together in groups and the teams, I would simply say, hey, let's just call this person and hear their story. It's just like unbelievably powerful. So I encourage everybody in the team to create those relationships with cross lines and work together on sharing stories and doing three-ways. It's super, super powerful.
Okay. I hope we've made our point, the power of third-party validation, how powerful three-way calls are, how powerful the group is. I want to pound this. I was slow to learn this, and it had to just be pounded in my head, and then eventually Natalie had to just call me out, right? But if we can catch on from the get-go, your speed, success loves speed, right? You get to go a lot faster, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to run these sprints as fast as we possibly can. All right.
I once signed Guy where we within 5 minutes had an interesting prospect, one of his prospect on the phone. Let's say, hey, let's do a three-way call right now. Right. Within 5 minutes of him being in the business, he had a prospect on the phone.
Because it's duplicatable. It's easy to do
Yep.
that. Everyone can do what we're talking about. You don't have to be an influencer. You don't have to have this huge following. You just got to be good at using the tools. Dr. Thornton says a lot, use the tools, don't be the tool, right? Use the tool, don't, I think that's what he says. I'm almost certain. Use the tool, don't be, or maybe he says, don't be a tool. Either way, it works, right? That's good. I hope this is good, guys. Tomorrow, we're gonna have Patrick back on. Maybe Stephen. I'm assuming Stephen will be there, but we're gonna talk Big Al, the event it is this Saturday, right? You know me in dates and times. So this weekend, presentation from Big Al and all that stuff that's coming this Saturday. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to go into a little bit more detail of other things that move your business quick, right? Things that are easily duplicatable and going. So that will be tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time. It will be recorded, so I will post it if it doesn't work out. But if you can hop on, I love showing up. I think showing up is huge. You show up for you show up for your future team, you're showing up for your current team, right? Showing up is 90% of the battle. All right. Love you guys. We will see you later.
Have an amazing day.